Let's get into this Q&A. Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. You guys know what time it is. You can tell by the title. Today we're getting into a Q&A. I ask you guys to submit questions here on YouTube as well as Instagram, and I got a little bit more of a response than I anticipated, so I'm excited to talk with y'all. It's Friday night, it's a chill night. You see your girl got her wine, of course, and we're gonna talk. Like, we're gonna have a good conversation. I asked for like any type of questions, you know, just like be respectful, and you guys were, of course, but I'm excited about the topics nonetheless. So let's just, you know, get right into it. Keep the intro real short. Subscribe if you haven't already, and give me a thumbs up because it's gonna be good. Let's get into it. Questions on my phone, so I'm gonna be referencing here, of course. The first question that I want to get into, someone asked me, how do you like living in California? So I need to give a little bit of a background about where I'm from and my experience before I can tell you how I feel about living in California. I am from Texas. I'm a Southern girl. My family is from New Orleans, Louisiana. We are very, very Southern. And majority of my adulthood, I have lived on the East Coast. I've lived in the DMV, my absolute favorite place to live. And I've also lived in North Carolina. And I lived here in San Diego like years ago prior to living here now because of, you know, being in the military, being in the Navy. I was stationed here. This is my second time being stationed here. So with that being said, like I said, the DMV has my heart. Like, I love DC and Maryland. Like, that is where I want to settle down. So in comparison to the place that has my heart, clearly I'm biased. San Diego or SoCal or California, it's beautiful. Physically, it's a beautiful place to live, but it's not my favorite. Like, there are a lot of specific qualities that I love about the DMV that I even love about the South that are not here. And some of those things include the culture, the diversity of people, things to do, accessibility to travel destinations, in my opinion, and opportunities for a woman like me, a Black woman. So my opinion and how I feel about living in San Diego is because of my past experiences. It's because of my preferences, and I just feel like I have such a better experience. I feel a lot more connected when I'm on the other coast. I'm here in San Diego and I'm going to enjoy it while I'm here. When I share with people like how I really feel about living here, they're often like shocked, because on social media I do be living my best life, because that's just me. Like, I'm going to make the best of my time here. Like, I'm still gonna have a good time. Like, I'm gonna see all the things, I'm gonna do all the things, I'm gonna meet people regardless, but my experience here is just a couple steps below my experience on the East Coast or in the South as a young Black woman. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. No shade. This is no shade. I'm not trying to be shady. That's just my preference. I will also say, like, I live in San Diego, and San Diego is different from LA. I think LA is more of my vibe, more of my speed. I do enjoy LA more, but it is, you know, about 2-hour drive for me, and like traffic, so it's just not, I'm not gonna always be there. But yeah, that's how I feel about San Diego. I'm enjoying it while I'm here, but this is not my forever home. When I leave here, I won't ever be coming back by choice to live. That's just that on that. That's just how I feel. Where are you from and how old are you? I already shared, I'm from Houston, Texas, and I am 32 years old, 32 and fabulous. I love my 30s. It is so lit here. Like, the level of confidence, self-awareness, assuredness, like comfortability. I'm just so unapologetic in this decade of my life, and I feel like it's only gonna get better. So yeah, I love my 30s. What inspires your style? My style is truly at this point inspired by how I feel and what I feel the most confident in. I do like trends, however, you know, there are just some trends I'm not getting with. But at the end of the day, my style, I would say, is based off of the current era that I'm in my life. Yeah, I just put on what I feel like looks good on me, and I go on about my business. And I'm not too much concerned about, you know, what other people think about it. Once upon a time in my life, I was highly concerned with being perceived. I was highly concerned with giving off a certain image, and that's not really my concern anymore. Now I just wear what I feel good in, and I am no longer afraid to, you know, show a little skin and be a little sexy or a little edgy. Like, I accept that that's a part of my style, that's a part of who I am. And I don't necessarily subscribe to like only one style or, you know, only one look. Like, I truly dress how I feel. So one day I may dress very like femme and coquette, and then the next day I might put on some sneakers and have more of like a streetwear look. It just really depends on how your girl is feeling, and it's all grounded in my confidence and just feeling good about myself, honestly. I think this answer like perfectly goes into like the next question that I got, which was, what are some ways you found helpful to building your confidence over the years? I have a TikTok that low-key did some numbers talking about confidence, and I really love this topic actually, because I think a lot of the times when we start talking about confidence, we're mostly focusing on outward confidence and how you look, how you pull yourself together. But confidence, I've learned over the years, it's so much deeper than that. It is so internal. It's really truly all about you and how you deeply feel about yourself. And I feel like one of the best ways for us to build our confidence as women, I'm gonna speak from the perspective of a woman, but this can apply for men too, but I know it's mostly the girlies that watch this channel. The best way for me to build my self-confidence beyond the physical, beyond what you see on the outside, is keeping my promises to myself, upholding my own standards and boundaries. And that's not even just in relationships. I feel like a lot of the times when people get to talking about standards and boundaries and so on and so forth, they're talking about relationships. But I have personal standards and boundaries for myself. You know, I keep my promises to myself, right? Like, if I say I'm going to do something for me, I hold myself to it. And as I continue to pour into myself, I give to myself, I invest in myself in whatever capacity. That helps me feel better about myself. That helps me build my self-confidence, my self-esteem, and it has nothing to do with anybody else. And I think that's the beauty in that, my confidence journey, because it's not about outside validation. And trust me, I know I look good and I get compliments often, but my confidence is not grounded in what you see on the outside. It's grounded in truly how I feel about myself and how I honor myself, how I invest in me, how I treat me, how I look out for me, how I'm my #1 fan. Like, yeah, that's what confidence is truly about, in my opinion. Because this is very superficial. It's so superficial what you see on the outside. The best thing about building that confidence internally is like, no one can touch that, right? If somebody doesn't think that you're attractive, so what? Like, because my confidence is way beyond skin deep. You know, it's truly how I feel about myself. Getting rejected or not receiving external validation is not going to rock your world, because my confidence is not about your opinion of me. My confidence is about my opinion of me. So yeah, that's how I've been able to build my confidence along the way. It is truly a journey. I will say that some things that have helped me truly internalize confidence and exude that confidence is doing things that are healing for me, including therapy, including like self-reflection and being introspective, being forgiving. Oh my God, people need to talk about self-forgiveness more. Really just giving myself a lot of grace and giving myself the room and opportunity to grow in my womanhood. All of the things, all of these things are a part of the confidence journey, and just truly feeling good about yourself, and you know, just being sure of who you are. So yeah, I hope that is a good answer, because I love to talk about confidence. I want to talk about confidence more because I feel like it's a journey that I'm very proud of myself, that I've come so far in my confidence journey. The next question I feel like ties into this conversation as well. It is how to radiate feminine energy, because you literally epitomize it, in my opinion. Thank you so much, girl. Thank you, girl. I feel like femininity and confidence for women are like this. And when it comes to femininity, there is no cookie cutter example of it. For me personally, I think my confidence and my self-assuredness has helped me develop this essence of being a feminine woman. I used to think that femininity was really just kind of like being a girly girl, but I think a lot of it now is all about your energy, and confidence ties into that, but just how you show up and how you're kind and how you are sweet and considerate, but at the same time you don't take no shit. Like, you don't let people run over you or use you. And I feel like in this current era, I have really more so tapped into my dark feminine, and she is mysterious, and she is also self-assured and strong at the same time. I love that side of myself. I think the dark feminine, she taps into her shadow side, and she's aware of, you know, those little things about herself that aren't necessarily the best, but because she's aware of them, she is able to utilize those aspects of herself for good, if that makes sense. That may sound a little vague, but I like her. I do. I like her. So femininity, in my opinion, is all about your confidence, your energy, your self-awareness, and your softness. It's also about softness, but firmness at the same time. Okay, let's get into the relationship questions. I like relationship talk. Healthy relationship talk, not all that crazy trash that they be doing on, you know, the internets, like on the social media. Not that, but I love healthy relationship talk. I got quite a few questions, so like, let's get into it. So the first question was, how and when did I know that my husband was the one? So my husband and I were actually friends before we decided to explore a romantic relationship, and I feel like in our friendship, when we were strictly platonic friends, it wasn't nothing going on. He was so available. He was so reliable. I saw that that man would literally jump through hoops for me as my friends, and I feel like that built the foundation of trust for me in our relationship from the very beginning. So because he was a trustworthy friend, I felt safe enough to, you know, explore a romantic relationship. And I think that was just like, from the very beginning, the foundation that reassured me that, okay, this might be the man for me. I will give a disclaimer, and I've had this conversation with my husband before, that I don't believe in the one. I don't believe in the one per se, because I know that I can make connections and be compatible with different people. And I don't believe that there is this one person for each person, because if that was the case, we would all be screwed. Because who's to say like somebody don't got my one and I got somebody else one? You know, I don't believe in the one or love in that regard. I think that I can love many people in my lifetime. I can be connected with many people. I can be committed to multiple people, and that is not my plan. I'm not saying that's the plan. Obviously, I'm married to one man and we're very committed. But I've had the conversation with him and he agrees, like he understands me. Like I don't think that there's just one person for me. I chose him and he chose me, and we are compatible, we're connected, and we're committed, and it works, you know. But I've also had other connections in the past. Obviously didn't work out. However, you know, I think that we can have many loves in our lifetime. And just to make sure like we're clear and there's no confusion, I am in a monogamous marriage. I just don't think that there is only one person for you. So yeah, hope that's clear. The next relationship question is, how long have we been married? We've been married for 3 years and we've been together for 4 years. Do you feel the pressure to have kids? No, we don't feel pressure to have kids. One, I am the rich auntie. I have 4 nephews, and you know, my family, I think, respects my decision to not have any kids anytime soon, if ever. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. And I think for me, they don't even step over that line out of respect, one, and then also because I come from a very young family. A lot of the women in my family, like generation after generation, have had children very young and before they were married. So I am breaking a cycle in a lot of ways, and you know, I'm so happy with the trajectory of my life, and I think that my family is also happy with that. So there's no pressure from them. There's no pressure from my in-laws either, because I feel like similarly, like my mother-in-law had a similar experience, or like a young mother. So no pressure. Ain't no babies coming no time soon. No time soon. How do you and your husband handle arguments and disagreements? So we don't argue really ever now. The first year of marriage, we argued, boo. We argued. And I think one of the best investments that we ever made in our marriage was going to marital counseling. And our arguments were because of life changes, you know, difficulty communicating, and going to therapy taught us how to communicate in a healthy, respectful, loving way. So now we have these amazing tools in our toolbox. So like we do not argue. Like I can't remember the last time we had to argue. Like we haven't argued in 2 years now. That first year we was arguing. But I'm glad like we figured it out. We invested in our marriage by going to therapy, and I'm so happy like with where we are. We do have disagreements, but we really don't take it personal, because at our core we have the same values. Like we both value character as well, and just being good to each other and being respectful to each other. So like if we don't agree on something, we have a disagreement, we don't take it personal. It's just like, okay, let's agree to disagree, and we just keep it moving. Or if you know it's causing a little bit of tension, then we just use our tools and we just have candid and respectful and honest conversations. So yeah, we don't argue, and I'm so grateful for that. I think we have a very healthy, balanced marriage. It did take work to get here though, that is for sure. But we're very like content and happy. And then they asked who's the first to apologize. It's probably like in combination with the question about arguments and agreements. Honestly, we both apologize when we're wrong, because you know we grown, and I don't necessarily subscribe to the idea of happy wife, happy life. of course I want to be a happy wife, but I want my husband to be happy too. So I want our relationship to feel balanced and fair, and like we're both imperfect. So like apologizing goes both ways. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and if you wrong, you wrong. So we just have grown together to take accountability for our wrongs, so we both apologize and we both, you know, confront each other if we feel wronged. And it's like, okay, because we know how to communicate now, I'm going to validate your feelings and your experience because you're allowed to feel how you feel, and we apologize as needed. I will say that it's a lot easier said than done, but it's like a muscle, you know. You exercise that muscle, and when you're mature, you learn to take accountability, and if you're wrong, you wrong, and say sorry, period. Like, yeah, and just keep it moving. And then this is the last question: how's life after the military? So I'm not officially out. It feels like I am. I mean, the hair and the nails are giving I'm out. And I live like I'm not in the military. It's such a privilege. I'm so grateful, but I'm not officially out. I'll be officially out in a little bit more than a month. And I'm looking forward to the day. However, I have really gotten a good taste of what life is like outside, or what it will be like, you know, when I fully cross over to the other side. And I love it here. Like, there is nothing that I miss about being in the military. I joke and say like the only thing that I kind of miss is like the cheaper gas on base. But I would still have access to that, you know, even once I'm out, because my husband's in. But I just don't be feeling like driving. You know, before I would just drive on base every day to go to work so I could easily pull up to the gas station. But life is so good. Like, I feel so good about my decision, so confident. I know that I'm on the right track. No regrets. My anxiety about the decision has subsided so much. I have a plan. Things are falling into place perfectly. It just feels like this was what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I feel like I'm constantly being reassured and affirmed, and stuff is manifest. Like, I'm manifesting, right? I'm manifesting, and I'm so much happier. I'm at so much more peace. Like, I feel like I can be my true self. My mental health is so much better. I have only good things to say. I know it's only gonna get better from here moving forward. And yeah, I feel like a new level of freedom. And look, when July 15 hit, like the freedom that I'm gonna feel, I'm probably gonna cry, y'all. I'm probably going to cry. But yeah, I'm so happy. Life is good. Know what I mean? Life is good. But yeah, that's all of the questions from my Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you feel like you got to learn a little bit more about me. I actually really liked filming this, and I'm open to doing more Q&As if this has sparked any more questions for you guys. I also want to do like advice, like what would Chavi do? So if you have any situation scenarios, it could even be hypothetical. You ain't got to tell all your business. You know, ask me a what would Chavi do question in the comments below, or just any questions in general, because I want to do more Q&As. I want to open up more here. I want to share more here. And I like chats. I really like chats, y'all. I'm an introvert, but I be talking. I do be talking, especially when there's wine involved. I gets to talking. But anyways, thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up, of course, and holla at your girl in the comments. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Later, besties.